We were talking about this missionary here. Remember what his name was? His name was Gary Roberts. And he was visiting an island in Indonesia, one of these islands here. Remember that? He had landed at Sumika. Remember that? And when he was there, all the people were so happy and they cheered. And he stepped out of the airplane and all of a sudden they got really quiet. And the chief came up to him and said, "Excuse me, are you a Seventh-day Adventist?" And Gary couldn't believe it. He was far away on a little island way up in the mountains. And here they knew about Seventh-day Adventists. And so he had asked them, "How do you know about Seventh-day Adventists? I didn't think anybody here would know." And so they told him this story. Remember, there was two pastors in another village far away from them on the little island. Yeah, Pastor Moses and Pastor Darius. And one night they had gone to sleep. And the next morning, what had happened during the night? No, do you remember what happened? They had a dream, right? They were talking to each other, and Pastor Moses said to Pastor Darius, "I had a dream last night. I saw this big shining being, and he came up to me, and he told me," he said, "go to the village of Suminka." And Pastor Darius said what? "I had the same dream. I had the exact same dream as you. An angel came to me last night, and he told me the same thing. Go to Suminka." And did they obey God? Yes, they said, "Okay, I guess we better go." And so they packed up all their stuff because it was going to be a long, long hike. And they hiked up to the village of Suminka. And when they got there, they said, "We're going to have a special meeting every evening for 1 week and tell you about Jesus." And the first day, remember what happened to Pastor Moses? He got sick. Did he get a little sick? He got big sick, right? Yeah, he got really, really sick. And do you remember what disease he had? Malaria. And he was in bed, and he had fever, and he was feeling so sick. And the villagers came to see him, and they said, "Oh, we're sorry, Pastor Darius, but we're pretty sure that Pastor Moses is going to die. He's so sick. And so, but if he doesn't die, then we'll come and listen to him at the meetings." And so Pastor Darius prayed all day. And when it was 5 o'clock, right before the meeting, do you remember what happened?
He got better.
He got better, that's right. He felt better. He sat up all of a sudden. He said, "I think I feel better. I think I could preach." So he got up, took a shower, and went and preached. And as soon as the meeting was over, what happened? Remember?
Got a fever again.
He got a fever again. He was super sick. And the next day, the same thing happened. He was sick all day until 5 o'clock. And he did the meeting. And then right after, he got sick again. And that's what happened all week long. And at the end of the week, he made what is called a special appeal. He said, "Does anybody want to give their hearts to Jesus and get baptized?" And you remember how many people chose to do that?
No.
Zero. Nobody did. And Pastor Darius and Pastor Moses said, "Well, we had to go back home, and we have to leave, and we don't know why nobody chose to follow Jesus." They were pretty discouraged when they left. And they talked about it on the way back. And we don't understand, because we had a special dream, right, from God. God told us to come here. Why had none of the people decided to follow Jesus? We just don't understand. Well, when Pastor Gary came, the villagers had told them, "There are some of us who follow Jesus and go to church on Sabbath." And Pastor Gary said, "How come? If you had decided not to do that when Pastor Moses and Pastor Darius came, what changed?" And they told him it was because of a dog. Remember that? A dog. Well, they had dogs over there, and they loved to use the dogs to go pig hunting. And their best dog was named Dolby. Dolby was the best hunter. He was able to sniff out pigs and just hunt them down. And so whenever Dolby would head out into the jungle, the villagers, especially his owner, would follow him because they wanted to catch a pig to be able to eat, right? So the first Sabbath morning, after Pastor Darius and Pastor Moses had come, Dolby sat up in the morning and got up out of his place and he started walking through the village. And so his owner said, "Oh, that must mean that Dolby smelled a pig and it's time to go hunting." And so the owner grabbed his spear and he started to follow Dolby through the village. And the other villagers said, "Oh, is Dolby going?" And his owner said, "Yeah." So they said, "Okay, come on guys, everybody, let's go. Let's go hunt some pigs." And so they followed Dolby, and Dolby walked all the way across the village. He walked to the place where Pastor Moses and Pastor Darius had the meetings on this big veranda. And Dolby walked up on the veranda and he sat there. And he waited all morning. And after that, he left. The villagers said, "That's weird. Why would Dolby do that? I thought we were going to go hunting for pigs. And instead, here he is, just sitting here on Sabbath." Okay, well, they didn't think much more of it. And all week went by. And next Sabbath morning, guess what happened? Sabbath morning came, and Dolby stood up, walked across the village. His owner followed him again and all the villagers. And he came to the veranda where Pastor Moses and Pastor Darius had their meetings. And he sat down and he waited there. And when Sabbath was done, then he left. And that happened Sabbath after Sabbath. They also noticed another strange thing about Dolby. Dolby was not chasing pigs anymore. He refused to go hunting for pigs, and he refused to eat pig meat. And you remember Pastor Moses and Pastor Darius had told the villagers, can you stop rocking, please? How they should eat healthy foods and not eat pig meat, right? And the villagers looked at each other and they said, "I think that Dolby, the dog, has become a Seventh-day Adventist." Huh, how strange. Have you ever heard of a Seventh-day Adventist dog? No. But they said, you know what? If Dolby has decided to be a Seventh-day Adventist dog, maybe we should do the same. And so the villagers started to get together on Sabbath morning on the veranda too, where Dolby was, and they started to sing songs together and remind each other of some of the Bible verses that Pastor Moses and Pastor Darius had read. And so by the time missionary Gary came with his little plane, there were people there who said, "We want to get baptized. We want to know more. We want to be able to have a good Sabbath." And so, you know who Pastor Gary called? Who do you think he called? Because they needed a teacher now to come help them. Who do you think he called?
Darius.
Yes, that's right. He called Pastor Moses and he called Pastor Darius. He said, "Guess what? You'll never guess what happened." And they said, "What?" "The village of Suminka, where you were at, there are people here who follow the Sabbath." And Pastor Moses and Pastor Darius said, "What? When we were there, the people were not very happy about Sabbath keeping or anything. Nobody had decided to do that." And he said, "Yeah, but let me tell you the story about Dolby the dog." I said, "What?" "Yeah." And so missionary Gary told them the whole story about Dolby, the Seventh-day Adventist dog. And he said, "And now the villagers need a teacher to come up here to be able to teach them." And Pastor Darius said, "Oh, I'll come up there as soon as I can." And so Pastor Darius headed up to the mountain, to the village of Suminka, and he was able to baptize, eventually, 20 people. Isn't that great? All because of Dolby, the Seventh-day Adventist dog. Yeah, that is a cool story. All right. So let's say a prayer for missionary Gary and for the village of Suminka, right? That Jesus would be with them and help them. And then we'll move on to our other part. So just bow your heads right there. Close your eyes and fold your hands. Father in heaven, we thank you so much that you are always in charge, Lord. That even though Pastor Moses and Pastor Darius felt pretty discouraged, that you had a purpose, Lord, and that you can use even animals to do your purpose, Lord. Thank you so much for Dolby, and thank you so much for missionary Gary, Lord. We pray that you bless all of them. Be with the village of Suminka as they get to know